Om 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 Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। ओम सदाशिव समारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमां अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वंदे गुरु परंपरां समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। बोलिए श्री वेदव्यास भगवान की जय। हरि ओम। So welcome to the 15th episode of Tatwabodha by Sri Adi Sankaracharya. In the last session, we saw that there is no, even when you say the jiva or the individual who identifies with the body and the mind knows little, and he does not have the big capacities like Ishvara, and Ishvara knows everything. And he has got all power, but the jiva has got lesser power. And all that. How can you say based on jiva and Ishvara, that they are same? The student is asking, and the teacher replies saying, Stula Sharira, Stula Sukshma Sharira Abhimani, Tvam Pada Vachyartaha. When you talk about the one identified with the subtle body and the gross body, it is only a namesake expression to refer to that person. Vachyartha means just for namesake, it's being said. But when that same person is free of all identifications, like even in the state of sleep, or basically in the state of meditation. In the state of sleep, they are without identification and they are not aware of it. But in the state of meditation, they are aware of the body and the mind and their presence, and they are not identified with the gross body at that time. So they are in the state of meditation, which is Samadhi Dasha, and that state, the Chaitanya, they are identified with the life only, and they are present in deep meditation, and they are free of all thoughts and feelings, and they are focused only on the presence of them, Samadhi Dasha, Sampannam. So that state of Shuddha Chaitanya, which is present in them alive, that is Tvampada Vachyartaha, Lakshyartaha. Lakshyartha means when I say, hey, you there, you come here, you may be referring to the body and the mind, but actually what is coming is the life force. The life force present in the body and the mind. That life force is what I mean. Without that life force, that person is not going to walk about in the body and with the mind, thinking with the mind and walking with the body. So that is the original person we refer to when we say he, she, it, or I. It's a vachya, lakshyartha. In the same way, when you refer to Ishvara, you say he is sarvajñatva. He knows everything that needs to be known in this universe. And then he is Sarva Shaktiman, Sarva Jnana Sampanna, Sarva Bala. He has got all strength, he has got all power, he has got all wealth, he has got all resources. You refer to some person as Ishvara. That is only the Vachyartha. That is only a namesake representation. All the powers that that person represents is only namesake. Upadhi Shunyam. When you take away that limitation of these qualities of knowing everything, doing everything, all powerful, all compassion, all renunciation, or all knowledge. When you take off these qualities, what remains is that life. That is the lakshyartha, the life that I am pointing out to. The life that is there in that Ishvara and the qualities of Ishvara, and the life that is there in this human and the other beings in this universe is the lakshya in both. When we indicate, when we say that tree, that animal, that insect, it can be a cockroach, it can be an ant, it can be a scorpion, it can be a spider, it can be a cow, it can be a dog, it can be a buffalo, it can be a rhinoceros or a tiger or a lion, it can be a peepal tree, it can be a neem tree, it can be a banyan tree, or it can be an American human being, it can be an Australian, it can be an African, it can be an Indian, it can be a Chinese. When you say that person, that tree, that animal, or that insect, we may be indicating some related to some knowledge about that insect or person, or but actually when we point out, if the life force is not there, that person, that insect, that animal, or the tree is not available for our perception at all. So when we point out to something in this world of jnana, in this upadesha of Tatwabodha, the essence is, it is not the namesake differences that matter of name and form. It is the essence in that name and form, and that essence is life. That is what matters. Evam sarvajnatvadi vishishta vachyartha, lakshyartha. So the vachyartha or the name and form is different, whether it's a human being or it's a god. But in lakshyartha, the essence is the same in both. And so when we talk of sameness, we are meaning that essence is what the Acharya is saying. So this is knowledge in the form of a thought. We are able to understand. We have a mathematical equation, a plus b whole squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. It's a mathematical knowledge. But when you put the quantity of A and the quantity of B of any object, of any person, or any, maybe it's a cake or biscuits, it is just telling that when you put this quantity double and this quantity double and double the whole of the quantity, then what you get? A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So the A can be cakes and the B can be biscuits. So you can put that equation. Now the equation here is the life in the jiva and the life in the Ishvara is that one life. The name is different, the form is different. So we understand this as an equation. But when it comes as an understanding in our life, when it comes as a realization, we behave differently. When we know that the life in God and the life in me is one and the same, we may give the respect and love that is, and do the seva that is appreciated in the outer world, but in our heart of hearts, we know that the Krishna whom we are talking to or thinking about, the Rama we are thinking about, the Shiva we are thinking about is none other than our own self. And we function with that realization when we come to God. When we come to other jivas, when we come to other trees, when we think about the trees, we understand that the life, the Chaitanya in the tree is the same Chaitanya in me. So when I want to think of cutting a tree unnecessarily, I will think twice. I will consult. I will do the offerings. I will seek the necessary permission. Then only, if it is needed, we will go ahead to even injure, not cutting, we leave cutting. Even to snap the leaves from the tree, or just snap the branch. We do that very easily. When we go walking, we just snap a branch from the tree, we play with it, and then we put it on the wayside. We will think 2 times before doing it. We will not mindlessly do it because snapping our finger is very painful. So we will have the same thought that it will pain for that tree, it will hurt for that tree. And so we will not damage it unnecessarily. We will not hurt anything unnecessarily. We will not simply stamp an insect and walk and kill the insect because we know the life inside us is the same life in that insect. So this is where the knowledge of Vedanta, where it becomes a practical application in our life, we will live a life of realization of that knowledge. When we live a life of realization of that knowledge, we are called a human being of realization. And how will that human being of realization behave in this world? The man of realization is being described. In this chapter, Bhagavan Sri Adi Sankaracharya says, Evam cha Vedanta vakyaihi Sadguru Upadeshena cha Sarveshu api Bhuteshu Esham Brahma Buddhihi Utpanna Te Jivan Muktaha Ityarthaha. Evam cha, in this manner, in this way. In which manner? In the previous chapter it is said that the Chaitanya in the Jiva and the Chaitanya in the Ishvara are one and the same. Even though the name and form of the Jiva is different, the name and form of the Ishvara is different, the Chaitanya in the Jiva is the Chaitanya in the Ishvara. So when we go to a temple and when we see the God, if we go with this realization, we will know that what we are seeing as the divine seated in that posture with Abhaya Varada Hastam or with an Ayudha, it is none other than me. It is none other than my own self. So basically, my own self means it is not the physical aspect we are talking about. The physical aspect is different, but the essence of me as life and the essence of that Ishvara seated in that stone is one and the same. And so that is why whenever we meet our friends, we realize that we are one. That is why we go to ask them for help. And then we tell our problems so that they will listen with a kind ear. The oneness that is being spoken about here is not the oneness of the physical. It is not the oneness of the mental also. It is the oneness of the essence. It is oneness of the fragrance of life within. In that manner, we are one. Everybody is one. Everything in this universe is one. The whole earth and the whole cosmos, including myself, are just one. Evamcha, in this way, Vedanta Vakyahi. Vedanta Vakya means the Vedanta Vakya, the sentence of Vedanta. The Mahavakya referred to this in this text is Tat Tvam Asi. We are using a sentence like how we use a mathematical equation or a chemistry equation or a physics equation to solve some problem in physics, chemistry, or mathematics. This problem of who am I, or this problem of the difference between everything, all the problems in this universe, meaning the problem of thought, the problem of feeling, the problem of emotion, is solved with this equation, Tat Tvam Asi. So what is that equation? Tat is that God, Ishvara, divine, consciousness, life, essence, reality, Allah, Christ, Krishna, Radha, Durga, Saraswati, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, whatever name, Tao, Zen, the way, any name you may call it, any name you may give it. You may adhere to some name from some religion, or you may be an atheist. If you are an atheist, the atheist that is talking about that subject, the life in that atheist, the consciousness in that atheist is what they are saying, they are denying, it is not there. So, that is what we speak about. To know that, we know it through Vedanta Vakya. What is the Vedanta Vakya? Tat, that, tvam, you, asi, that thou art, you are that, I am that, everything is that. In whatever way we are able to understand, when we contemplate, we don't contemplate it on our own. शास्त्रज्ञः अपि स्वातंत्र्येण ब्रह्म विचारं मा कुर्यात्. Meaning, you may be a very learned pandit. You may have learned the Shastras, but Brahma Vichara, or knowing who I am, please do not do it by yourself. If you ask, what if I do it by myself? What is the problem if I do? If you ask that, then it is just like saying, it's the same thing as saying, what if I give the degree of IAS for myself? What if I give the degree of IPS for myself? Or what if I give a PhD for myself? What if I call myself a PhD or I call myself a doctor? What's the problem now? It is only 2 letters. Why not I call myself that? You may call. Even children are there. They can get a police dress from the shop. It is available. You can even rent it. And you can wear the police dress with all the badges in place. But it is not the real thing. In the same way, you may say, you may think, I am only that. How do I know that? I read it in this book. I read it in Tatwabodha. I read it in Atmabodha. I read it in all the Upanishads. There are so many YouTube videos that talk about this. I heard it. Now I know I am that. I don't need to listen to anything further. So that itself shows that it is only a realization in name. It is only Vachyartha and not Lakshyartha. Lakshyartha happens when the Vedanta Vakya of Tattvamasi or Ayam Atma Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Satchidananda Rupaha, Shivoham, Shivoham. All these statements, when it is coming to the words of a Guru, Guru means the one who is a Shrotriya, who has learned the scriptures, who has learned the Upanishads from her Guru himself and not on his own. Even if a Guru, even if a self-realized master says, I have no Guru in this lifetime, nobody who has, I have not learned anything from anybody. I know it by myself. It means in their past births and their past lives, they have had the guidance and because of the presence and the blessings of the Guru, the knowledge is getting expressed in this birth, in this lifetime. So it is to say that I don't have a Guru, I have not learned anything from a Guru, is just like saying, I was just born on this earth. No, I just came. You people were all born through parents. I have no parents. I was just born. They may have had parents. The parents may have died, or the parents may not be there available to show to us. It doesn't mean that the person was born without parents. In the same way, this knowledge might have happened. The Guru is behind that knowledge. The knowledge is being passed through us through the Guru Parampara. Even Bhagavan, whenever we chant the prayer, we said, Sada Samarambham Sankaracharya Madhyamam. We are going to have the Jayanti of Bhagavan Sankaracharya on April 25, the most auspicious day to celebrate the Jayanti or the birthday of the Guru. Sada Shiva Samarambham Sankaracharya Madhyamam Asmad Acharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. We wear umbrella. This umbrella provides shade from blazing sunlight. The umbrella gives us a necessary shade. In the same way, the Guru Parampara gives us the shade of the umbrella of the thought, Aham Brahmasmi Tat Tvam Asi. Standing under the shade of that umbrella, we can do our contemplation. We do our contemplation. We enter into the state of realization in meditation of how it means that I am that. So, Sadguru Upadeshena, Vedanta Vakyaihi, with the help of the Vedanta Vakya and the Upadesha of the Sadguru. Upadesha is a very beautiful word. At the outset, it means teaching. But when you really go deep into the meaning of the word, Upa means Samipa. Samipa means near. Desha means place. We are coming very, very near to one place, which is that place. When I want to go to Delhi, I get Upadesha from Google Maps, and Google Maps tells me you go from this place, you go by train or go by flight, and then you land at Delhi, and this is where you go to your place in Delhi. So, Delhi Desha, Google Map tells me. Or physical map will tell, we don't need Google Map for that. Our atlas will tell how to go, where is America. So those Desha. Upadesha, Upa means near, Desha means place. Not this Desha, that Desha. Desha means place. Which place? The place where I am standing. Our mind is always far away from this. All our problems in life are because standing, and mentally it goes somewhere, physically also it drags the body to somewhere else it doesn't need to really be because of thoughts and desires. Upadesha means something, some thought, some words, some statements and sayings that bring me close to myself. Sat Guru. Who can give that Upadesha? Any Guru cannot give Upadesha. Every Guru, we have Gurus for different reasons. Guru means teacher, the one who shows the way, the one who sheds light. We may have a problem in finance. Somebody will shed light on what to do to overcome that problem. That person becomes your financial. We may have problem with chanting. Some person who will sit with you and make you teach you how to chant well and help you to perfect the practice of chanting. That person becomes your chanting guru. You want to learn music and somebody will teach you music. That person becomes your music guru or your cricket guru or management guru or political guru or economic guru you have. Who is a Sat Guru? You have life. You are not aware of that life in you. You are going on looking outside for help. You're looking outside for support. You're looking outside for your joy. You're looking outside for your bliss. You leave the presence of that life right where you are standing. And the Sat Guru points out to the place where you need to see, that is within yourself. Even the Bhagavan in the temple, everywhere you see, even when you meet a Guru, they bless like this with hands. What does that mean? The light from your eyes falls on their hands and the light goes back, reflected back into your eyes, into your own mind, into your own self. So there is nothing to see outside. The energy back into you. They guide you. They teach you to see. They teach you, quoting from the Upanishads and the Vedanta and their own life experience, to say that what you are searching is within you. Restrict your search to within this frame of yours, within the mind, and you will find what you need to find. Sadguru Upadeshena cha sarveshu api bhuteshu. On all beings, it is not only important to know this thought of I am that. Then the other person will question. You say, I am that Bhagavan. You can sit in the marketplace and meditate, put a special seat and a special tent and sit there and meditate. And everybody will come around you. You may even meditate for days together, remaining very quiet in the state of samadhi. Then people will start gathering around you and say, oh wow, what a miracle. And then you open your eyes and the next moment, if somebody is scolding you for something, the anger comes out, the hatred comes out, the jealousy comes out, which means the knowledge has not become complete. The knowledge has not really purified everything within. Sadguru Upadeshena, Sarva Bhuteshu Api, with all human beings, all creatures, all other people, they may be our friends, they may be our enemies, they may be our masters, they may be our bosses, they may be our members of family, they may be our children, they may be our not related. They may be terrorists in this world, they may be robbers, they may be politicians, they may be doctors, any profession. Sarveshu api Brahma Buddhihi. Who is that person? He may be called as Ramaswamy. He may be called as Kupaswamy. He may be called as Vignesh, or some name we may call, or Rameshwari, or Katyayani, or Brahma, or a Brahman. They may be a Christian, they may be a Hindu, they may be a Muslim, they may be a Sikh, they may be a Shinto, they may be a Taoist, or they may be an atheist. It doesn't matter. They may be just people who believe in enjoying in this world. They may be people who are crassly living a life of enjoyment. However, they may be living their life. It doesn't matter. When this person, he sees Brahma Buddhi. Everywhere he sees with the consciousness of Brahman. Brahma Buddhi Utpanna. Sarveshu api bhuteshu esham they are called Jivan Muktaha iti Arthaha. Artha means that individual personality, the meaning, Jivan Mukta. So who is a Jivan Mukta? It's a very simple grammatical expression. In Sanskrit grammar, in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, we have the shloka. Pashyan, Shrinvan, Sprushan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Shwapan, Shwasan, Pralapan, Visujan, Grinhan, Unmishan, Nimishan, Napi, Indriyan, Indriyartheshu, Vartanta iti dharayan. So, in that pratyaya or the repetitive expression is there, which means Pashyan, seeing, Shrinvan, listening, Sprushan, touching, Grinhan, holding, Ashnan, eating, Gachan, walking, Shwapan, sleeping, Shwasan, breathing, Pralapan, speaking, Visrajan, expressing outside, letting out, letting go, Grinhan, Unmishan, closing the eyes, Nimishan napi, Vartanta iti dharayan, holding. So such a person, in the same way, this is what Jivan, living, a person who is living, present continuous tense, Muktaha, free. Living, my life expression is free. The life expression in me is not contained as a body, as a mind, or as an intellect. It is not contained in my thoughts. It is not contained in my emotions. You know how when we say contained in my emotions, you did this to me. I feel like this. I feel so bad. Such a Jivan Mukta, life expression is not contained in any limitation. They are in English, in Hindi, we have this word bindas. Bindas is walking. Like people who are all, some people maybe who's a forest dweller, they have no qualms about talking loudly. So in city people, we are all having a lot of inhibitions. Suppose a forest dweller comes, he just shouts across the hall without any compunction, without any qualms, without any sense of shame. So that is it is not that a realized person is going to do that. He's a person who's learned in the Shastras. So his mind is contained, his mind is divine. He's not going to be shouting at the top of his voice. But there are people who can live life on their own terms. That's what Jivan Mukta means. A Jivan Mukta, like If you're a real Jivan Mukta, you can travel across countries without a passport, without a visa. People will just tell you. There was a Swami, and before Swami Vivekananda, he traveled to many countries. He traveled to Japan. There was no visa, no passport, because a Jivan Muktaha is like the sky. The sky does not need a passport. The sky is there in Japan. The sky is there in America. The sky is there in Australia. The sky is there in the Antarctic. The sky is there in the Arctic. Space is there everywhere. It's like the mountains. And there was a poem which I wrote many, many years ago. It was in a moment of inspiration. So where in India and Pakistan border, we will have a tree. The tree, you will say the tree is in India border. The roots of the tree may be in Pakistan, underground. And the branches of the tree. Why leave India and Pakistan? Even in our own houses, in our Puducherry, we have very interesting geography for Puducherry. There are many things in between. You may, when you come to Puducherry, I invite you all to Chinmaya Surya to see our beautiful Surya Narayana temple. And Puducherry is a very spiritual place. It is an ideal place for spiritual tourism. And there are beautiful beaches in Puducherry. So I welcome you here. We can have Satsanga and Vedanta Darshan talks here in Puducherry. So the geography of Puducherry is very interesting. When you're coming from Chennai, coming from ECR, or you come from the state highway into Puducherry, you will enter into Puducherry, then there will be Chennai, and then there will be Puducherry, and then a little bit of Chennai will come, and then Puducherry will come. So, why did I say this? Jivanta. So a person, people who are on Puducherry or coming to Chennai or visitors, when they visit this place, they are Jivan Muktas. They don't, it may be the registration, maybe Tamil Nadu registration vehicles or Puducherry registration vehicles. They can fly up and down the roads here without any difficulty because, of course, you cannot live there in Chennai and have a Puducherry registration vehicle. So that is banned, or live in Puducherry completely and have a Tamil Nadu registration vehicle. The possibility is not there because they come to buy vehicles in Puducherry for cheaper rates and all that in those days. I do not know how it is now. So Jivan Muktaha means no conditions will bind me, and I can walk freely, I can talk freely, I do what I want, I engage in the world. It is not that that person is going to behave irresponsibly. The person is a self-realized soul who, that self-realization happens only when the mind is purified of all the tendencies of anger, hatred, jealousy, desire. When all these tendencies have left the mind, when the repetitive patterns of desiring for something, being jealous about someone, or hating someone, or fighting with someone, or being very loud, or having fear. Fear is the last thing that goes. And only when fear goes, this knowledge abides in that person. So that person is called a Jivan Muktaha. They are afraid of nothing. They are not afraid of disease. They are not afraid of separation. They are not afraid of abandonment. They are not afraid of poverty. They are not afraid of discipline. They are not afraid of imprisonment. They are not afraid of fire, water, air, earth. They are not afraid of wild animals. They are not afraid of serpents. They are not afraid of falling. They are not afraid of speaking on the mic, if that has to be done. Jivan Mukta, it's a free person. And ultimately, they are not afraid of death because they know that there is no death. There is only life. There is only living. Jivan Muktaha Ityartaha. When do they know that there is death? Not while dying. Even before they die, they have this knowledge, they meditate, they purify their life, they purify their mind, and they abide in this knowledge. They live a very simple life of minimal wants and maximum serving to the public, to the society, like many, many great saints and Mahatmas, like Bhagavan Shri Adi Sankaracharya, Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi, Bhagavan Tapon Maharaj, Swami Chinmayananda, Gurudev, many, many masters, many, many great saints have all lived the life of Jivan Muktas. And who is a Jivan Mukta? He knows through the Vedanta Vakya and Sadguru Upadesha that he is that Brahman. The Sadguru Upadesha is very simple. It's not a very complicated thing. Or do I need to surrender to a Sadguru and all that? If you want to know medicine, you have to sign up to study in a medical college. The medical texts are available in the libraries, in all the bookshops. The medical texts are available, but you have to sign up for a medical. You have to pass the necessary texts. Go to a medical college, study medicine for so many years, do what is required, do the sadhana, do the practice, do the service that is required for your practice period, get the required marks, get the certificate, go for the convocation, wear the convocation coat, pose for photographs, and then you become a doctor. You cannot just read medical texts. Even if you read that and you're very good at surgeries, you're very good at, if at all you get that opportunity or you get that, maybe it's a family of doctors you're living in and you may be qualified. You may have participated in everything. You may know in and out of everything. But professionally, officially, you're not qualified to be a surgeon before going through that process of studying in a medical college. Same with an engineering college, same with law, same with chartered accountancy. Even though the books are available, even though the material is available, even coaches are there. Anybody can teach and coach if they know mathematics and other subjects. You have to go through the process of learning. That is the same way, even though the books of Vedanta are available, the Upanishads are available, which Aham Brahmasmi, Tatwamasi, I am Atma Brahma. The knowledge is available. You have to listen at the feet of a master, at the feet of a teacher, imbibe that knowledge through listening slowly and doing the required sadhana that the teacher prescribes, offering seva to the Guru with love, and then this knowledge becomes one with us. Otherwise, this knowledge will only give us arrogance. This knowledge will make us fit enough to talk on stage. Knowledge is not going to purify our mind in any way. So, if I want to feel fresh, I should take a soap and have a good bath with clean water, apply the soap and take bath. Only then I will become fresh. If I'm going on saying there is soap, these are all properties of soap, I study from Google search, I study from books about how soap is manufactured and how when water and soap are applied on the skin and there is going to be lather, and then when again water is poured, the body is going to be clean. The body that you are living in will not be cleaned by just the knowledge of how soap and water cleans the body. You have to take it and apply it in your life and do it, and only then you will experience that cleanliness. Otherwise, you can only have thoughts about cleanliness. You will not have the feeling of cleanliness. So to have the feeling of being a Jivan Mukta, you have to go through this process with a Sadguru. So how do we understand who is a Jivan Mukta? Whatever you say is very, I'm not able to get it. Maybe next week we will see who is the real Jivan Mukta and how the Jivan Mukta will walk around in this world. How do they think? How do they feel? How do they express themselves in their life? What is the knowledge that comes out of them when you wake them up at midnight, and when you ask them, who are you? What is it that they say? What is their understanding? Is what we will see next Sunday. From tomorrow onwards, Monday to Friday, we will be having Yaksha Prashna from the Mahabharata at around 6:30, 7:10 on Chinmaya Surya channel. Om Om Sarvesham Swastirбhavatu, Sarvesham Shantirbhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरि ओम. बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. हर नमः पार्वती पतये. हर हर महादेव. हरि ओम. See you tomorrow at the Yaksha Prashna on Chinmaya Surya channel.